Hello and welcome to the Federal. Today we have Mr. Jay Mrug, who is a political analyst and keeps a close watch on BJP and its allies. So my first question to you is, what is the need for BJP to look for alliance partners when it had comfortably won in the 2019 general elections on its own?
Yeah, you actually need to look at the last sliver of seats that the BJP has won. That is primarily Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. 25 seats in Karnataka, 62 in Uttar Pradesh. Was going to 87. Now, let's take Uttar Pradesh for example. Mrs. Maneka Gandhi won her seat, Lok Sabha seat, with less than 20,000 votes. This is not a great margin to write home about. So actually, while the BJP did have an impressive number of 303, outside the four major states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and Gujarat, the margins were contestable. I mean, it could. Now look at what happened to it in Bengal. They lost the by-election to Asansol, right? They lost one more Lok Sabha by-election in Bengal. So the key is that 303 looks a great number because the BJP has crossed 300. We have to look at it the other way around also. It is just 31 seats more than the halfway mark of 272. And many one of those 31 seats are on margins that are at stake. For example, Delhi, Punjab, where it is like almost complete. If it goes alone, it's going to be out of contest, right? Haryana, where there is an AP eating its urban votes, and there is a Congress resurgence, right? So the tally of 303 is not something that's easily repeatable. Even recently it is supposedly said that even the RSS made the same point to the BJP. So I think that's the reason they've got down to the table and got down to the drawing board and say, okay, let's look for more allies, let's strengthen ourselves completely.
So do you think parties like Akalis would still be willing to join hands with BJP after the bitter parting 3 years ago?
Look, it's a question of survival and having some stake in power somewhere. Look at the Jalandhar bypoll. The AP seems to be entrenched, right? Now, if you do not have one more shot at power in the state, then where else? How do you remain relevant in the corridors of power? You attempt for another shot of power at the center, if not at the state. It's about relevance. It's very similar to the case of, regional parties like the PMK in Tamil Nadu, the Patali Makal Kachi. Now, because of the regional politics of Tamil Nadu, the party has never ever got access to power at the state level. However, with skillful alliances, they were a member of the first Vajpayee government, second Vajpayee government, and the first UPA government in the center. So they made something of their vote share, right? They got some stake in power at the center, if not at the state. I think it's a similar question of survival and relevance, either at the center or the state for the Akalis.
Recently, Chandrababu Naidu met Amit Shah and JP Nadda. How do you look at this development?
Look, the TDP, it's been very interesting. While the BJP has been trying ever since 2019 to court a lot of local leadership in Andhra and Telangana, especially in Andhra. If you just remember, I mean, to give our viewers a little bit of a flashback, immediately after the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, it was the TDP members in the Rajya Sabha who split and went over to the BJP. I mean, this was one of the most solid blocks that also helped the BJP get its vote on Article 370. So, the BJP has tried everything, all the, weapons in its armory to say, okay, we will get a local leader in Andhra from here, from there, from that. We will have an alliance with Pawan Kalyan, but it's clearly not been able to make much of a mark. Why? Whatever marginal 7 or 8% it can scale up to, by the way, last time they were down to 1%. But assuming that it's an aberration, and whatever 7 or 8% that the BJP can scale to, can be a very good value add for the TDP if it just lags by that margin behind the YSRCP. So while for the BJP, it's a question of trying to scale that first 8 or 10%, that is enough for the TDP to make a difference between winning and losing. So in fact, in Andhra, it's been quite the other way around. It's the TDP which has been the first mover. If you look at the interviews of their leaders for the last 2-3 years in the local press, they've been talking about saying we want to be a part of NDA, we want to have an alliance with the BJP. The BJP has now responded post Karnataka.
So what will be the impact of TDP-BJP meeting on Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, who has been more than favorable to BJP both inside and outside the parliament?
Well, for the BJP, it's a different strategy. It's about neutralizing, look, the entire experiment of the non-Congress forces, okay, rests on 3 states which are currently having regional leaders who are neither members of UPA or NDA. One of which is Andhra, 25 Lok Sabha seats. One of which is Telangana, 17, total to 42. And the other is Odisha, which is 21, adding to 63 seats. Now, to halt the Congress in its tracks, or to, sort of limit the possible gains by the Congress, the BJP needs to either align with regional leaders or at least neutralize their impact in a post-poll scenario. So, in a state like Andhra, where one party is the ally and the other is the unofficial friend, or is very kind, puts the BJP in a very good situation. Once the president of BJP in Tamil Nadu once said in 2004, we have an alliance with DMK and a friendship with AIADMK. So that's the sort of thing BJP wants. So even in a post-poll scenario, abstentions, mild outside support can help the BJP through. And it's not the first time things have happened like that. Even in Narasimha Rao's time, when the government couldn't prove a majority, it was a minority government. It survived for almost 1.5 years on abstentions. So the BJP has even got that calculation in place that if the need be, we can have abstentions from such friendly, unofficial allies.
So my last question to you is, do you think BJP with its NDA expansion plan can counter the opposition unity meeting that is going to happen on June 23rd?
Look, I think the BJP is doing this as a fail-safe strategy. It doesn't want to fail. So it's expanding the footprint of the NDA. But frankly, if you look at the additions the BJP is making, there are 2 sides to the story. If you look at the additions, Punjab, we don't know how much the BJP and Akali put together will win, how many seats. We don't know. It's just 13 Lok Sabha seats. And also the AAP seems to be an upswing over there. The real story is Andhra, where they've also, as I said, they have one friendship and another alliance. So the stories that remain are then Odisha and Telangana. It's about 38 seats. The key is, for the BJP, it's important more than the quantum to give a message that it's one consolidated front. It needs at a narrative level to puncture the narrative that Congress has banded all the non-BJP forces together. It's objective more than the quantum. The quantum doesn't look big if you put it on paper. Its objective more than the quantum is to puncture that narrative. That, look, everybody is banded together. The other side of the story is also that how much can a hugely, banded and unified Congress plus alliance help? Because in several states, the BJP's margins have been huge. I mean, in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, the vote shares are like 60% in the Lok Sabha. Haryana, 60%, 59%. So I think that's where the real problem for the non-BJP front is, that they really have to figure out how to increase their strike rate. So currently, I think both the side is aware of the limitations on the quantum mechanics of how this is going to work, but they want the optics to work, either of them in their favor, that look, everybody's not been able to band together, and one Congress front saying, look, we've got one country, one constituency, one candidate. So it's more about the optics. The quantum mechanics of it is tough for both the sides.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.